Hello my beautiful Rainbows Light community, welcome to your next energy update reading. What Spirit wanted to talk to you about in this reading are two very calm energies at the beginning. So for group number 1 we are going to read with the Go with the Flow card at the beginning of the reading. And I believe this is from the Everyday Witch Oracle deck, that's how it's called. And this will be with the Everyday Witch Tarot deck. And for group number 2, we are going to start out your reading with the Meditation for Clarity card. Oracle deck as group number 1. Oracle deck as group number 1. And this is accompanied by the Tarot of Mystical Moments. So choose a pile 1 or pile 2. And without any further ado, let's see you in your reading. Hello my group number 1, welcome to your energy update reading. And you chose this beautiful Go with the Flow card. And with this card, I get the feeling of that there might be a situation in your life at the moment where you are either going with the flow and you are in this state, or you have to stop for a while and try to allow yourself just to be in the moment and go with the flow. But let's see. I really like this metaphor of the river here, going with the flow and just just being and absorbing the surrounding. And look how she's absorbing not just the beautiful nature, she's also absorbing the sounds of it and the wind probably in her hair. So she's taking in the present moment with all her senses. It's really nice. And she's giving herself also a way to, it seems like the cat, it seems like the cat is managing, the paddle here is in the water, so she's trusting that this boat, the water and the cat, maybe even this cat spirit is leading her towards where she has to be, where she has to go. Yeah, so either you are in this state or you have to get into the state somehow, but let's see. So for your first oracle card here, we have the Wisdom card. This is the major arcana card of the Hierophant. Yeah. And he's holding, this priest here on the picture is holding the Book of Wisdom in his hand. And it gives me the impression of needing to learn, or needing to kind of like needing to study of what's necessary for you to do, or you are in a energy where you have to remember yourself what you've already learned about life and about how to deal with things in order to live a good life. And for some reason I am also focused on this dog here in this card, but let's see what that could. And we have a cat here and a dog already, but let's see what the other cards say. The energy is gaining momentum. Yeah, so this makes a lot of sense here with this Go with the Flow card. This is like, yeah, it gives you completely the feeling of calming down and just getting yourself into the energy. Similar maybe when you're on vacation and it's like a quiet place in nature, and you finally, after maybe a period of work or hard school work, you are able to expand. Yeah, freedom again, expansion here. You are free to do what you choose. Yeah. So this is clearly saying like where you want to go, it doesn't really matter, because whichever way you choose will be the right way for you. You just need to trust and take some time off. And it's already, all these 4 cards are very, very spiritual, like talking about going within and remembering, getting some knowledge about things, about how to deal with things, or remembering those things, and to be able to find some inner and outer freedom in life, and yeah, to just let yourself slide into the next phase, maybe even. Yeah, and then I have 3 of these cards here, and I chose a planet card, a sign card, and a house card, because they're always giving us a story here. So at the first card we have, it's the North Node, yeah, and we have faith in. But let's see, what we have to have faith in. Leo. This is a card of Leo, card of energy. Outward, expressing your energy outward, and being able, very fiery energy here. And self-confidence to create, taking a chance on, resulting from. So let's see what message we get when we get the last card. There we have the 10th house, completion. 10th house, somewhere close to completion, and your destiny, where you're going, your career, success, responsibility. And have faith in self-confidence to create responsibility, or to create your destiny. Yeah, that makes sense. So have faith in self-confidence to create your destiny, or do not worry about taking a chance on where you are going. Yeah, this is exactly what we have here. Do not worry about taking a chance on where you're going. Have faith in self-confidence to create your destiny. And look how self-confident he is, because of the teachings in this book, that he understands things in life, and he probably gave wisdom to them. He teach them, or is about to teach them. But this figure in the foreground here is seems to be very self-confident. Yeah. And then we have, now is the time to resulting from the impressiveness of your career. Okay, now is the time to resulting from the present. It doesn't really make sense. It's not a good English, I guess, this sentence, but let's see. Then we also have leadership, creativeness of where you're going, of creativeness of success. What does this mean now? Success from creativeness of success. Okay. There will be leadership, responsibility. Well, now we are getting into this, like, it's probably important for you to get some rest and calm down and try to go with the flow, enjoy life, and look where it leads you to, because you are going to need some strength to move forward and to create your success. But you know, I really like this. It was really making a lot of sense. The first 2 sentences here, have faith in self-confidence to create your destiny, makes a lot of sense, because it seems to be like being on the path and having a free path, being able to choose here. And do not worry about taking a chance on where you're going is talking about this aspect of not worrying at all to where you're going, because this is the only way, when you give away the responsibility and let yourself be able to flow in life without worrying about how to do it, or if you should do it, or when to do it. when to go on vacation. And if it's hard for you at the moment to take a vacation or time off, at least try to find 1 or 2 days during the week where you have time for yourself and where you can gain momentum and do something that enjoys you. Maybe a hobby, maybe just being out in nature, being with family. But it gives me also the aspect of like going within and just being with yourself and being okay with that. I don't see that much energy of other people here, even though here we have a family. So it could also mean that spending time with your family and with animals too. And here the dolphins are usually an animal, and also dogs for pure joy. Yeah, just follow your heart and the joy inside your heart, whatever sparks your joy, and go with that. Try to go with that. That's what I get from these cards so far. So now we have your tarot cards, and we are starting off with the Knight of Wands. Yeah, he seems to be very adventurous, and the Knight of Wands is also a card of going in and out in other people's lives and being a bit restless, but having a good time with it yourself, but not reflecting too much on things. And maybe this is the state you used to be in, or you are in at the moment, and then Spirit would advise you here to try to let some of these responsibilities that you think you might have go, and just try to try to calm yourself with stopping having too much responsibilities. But I could read this card also differently, but let's see where the cards are heading towards to. Now we have the Page of Swords here. Yeah, I really like the Page of Swords. He has also these books in his backpack on the ground. He is very courageous, the Page of Swords. He is very good with his words, but still not as with his thoughts and his words, but still not as accomplished as a king or as a knight or the queen. So we are having a very young energy here. So it could be that you are very young or young at heart. Another page, okay, Page of Wands. Yeah, and it's the Page of Wands, and I like it in this card that we have. The Page of Wands is going on adventures. He's about to go on adventures. It's the beginning stage of going on an adventure, like moving out from your family home, or just being right at the beginning of a great vacation adventure, or an adventure with your friends, or an adventure with a training program, or with a work, but not really knowing where you will end up at, but going anyway, because you are the Page of Wands. And so we have 2 pages here and a Knight energy. So this tells me this is like a very, very excited and like maybe even bubbly kind of, and also this Knight of Wands, he's very driven and very active, very fiery energy. So you are probably in a very, it feels like you want it all, but you still have to learn something here. But you know where you want to go, or maybe you're not sure, but you know you want to go. You want to experience life, and yeah. Then we have the family again. Okay, so the family aspect is important here. Yeah, we have the 10 of Pentacles. And I have this feeling that this card, the 2 people here, like this guy over here and the Page of Wands, they look a bit similar. It's not that they are the same person, but I see them together here, so I have this feeling like of a very young person who is about to move out from the family home, or is coming back once in a while, because having a very secure family background. Yeah. But he seems to be very confident and proud of his own family. Maybe it's talking about a person you know, but since it's an energy update reading, it is your energy. And maybe it's also, if you're not an extremely young person, maybe it could also talk about remembering those energies that you used to have when you were young, and getting into this energy again. But you can only do that and remember that and be able to if you withdraw for a certain time. And yeah, just remember the time where you used to go with the flow, where you didn't worry about anything, because that's what young people usually do, unless they have a lot of trauma. But this is like a normal thing for young adults or teenagers and children to be like. So now we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. The Eight of Swords is usually, and I'm very sure here, since all the cards are very positive so far, that this Eight of Swords is talking about all the fears that we have. This is really the traditional meaning of the card, actually. All the fears that we have with anything in life, could be with change or with a certain situation. But be sure that those fears are only in your head. It's like you make them up by yourself, and you can always get out of it by just deciding. By just deciding. So it's not like it's more like a mental fog. And it feels like you are bound to a certain situation, but this bird, the bird over here on the sword, is kind of like in a constant chatter with her and trying to tell her how to loosen up. And it's kind of like spirit trying to help you here with loosen up and taking off your blinds, and to see that there's nothing to fear here. It's only your thoughts that keep you in a stuck mode, or that give you this bit of an anxiety. Now we have the King of Swords. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here in this reading to finally have the King of Swords. This is a very, very mature, old, wise energy. Again, that we have the Wisdom card here, the Hierophant, and the King of Swords is like the king of all the kings. He is the most accomplished, or at least the most knowledgeable and wisest one, and he's pointing with the swords upon this book, and maybe it is the Book of Wisdom. So without looking at your last card here, we will look at it in a minute, but here we have this Book of Wisdom, and at the beginning I was feeling drawn to this book at the beginning of your reading, and the dog also, and the dog is also an animal of wisdom and joy, and for some reason I had a feeling like someone is telling these people about certain things, some knowledge, or so you're either teaching other people because you are yourself now so accomplished that you can do that, or you are studying about these things that one day you can teach how to live a good life. And here we have the Page of Swords with the books in his bag. Again, books, and now we are ending up here again with the books, and now he is pointing out on this period in his life where he gained the knowledge about a certain thing, and he knows because he is so knowledgeable, he was reading a lot in his life, plus he was also adding experience to it. He can now make wisdom out of it. But he would have not gained this wisdom without his books, and without the things without all the thoughts the reflections he made in life. And also the sacrifices. The King of Swords made some sacrifices, some alone time out on the mountains. And again, we have here the birds in the sky. It's like the same bird maybe over here. It's trying to tell us to just take a step back, so that we're able to, that certain epiphanies can flow to us. Oh wow, beautiful. And in the end we have the Emperor card. This is like the Emperor card, like all the kings in the tarot, if we put them together and add them up, then we would have the Emperor here. He is like, there is some, this reading is a lot talking about confidence, and here this confidence is there in form of an idea, in form of an impulse, in form of, yeah, I know where I want to go, and I know what I want to build, or I want to find out what I want to build, and I want to go on this path. And here at the end we have, look, okay, wait, look. We have, of course, there in this deck we always have cats. On almost every card we have the cats sitting here and either playing or sleeping or being adventurous like this cat. So we end this reading with the cats here and the dog. Here we have this little dog, and at the end we have this shepherd here who's resting next to the Emperor and a cat on his lap. Yeah. So what I see here in this reading at the end now, that there's a transformation here from a very young energy towards, it's talking about, maybe you are reflecting at the moment about generations, maybe the generations in your family. And this anxiety card is not really connecting to the cards next to it. I have the feeling, or anywhere else in the reading, it's just there, just like a glimpse, just pops out. Only on this point here in the whole reading, so I have the feeling this is really just some ghost thoughts that you have, but they don't really have a background here. That's not. It's just stuff you make up. Some anxieties you have, kind of like fake anxiety. I would never say that any anxiety is completely fake. It always has a reason, but sometimes we make things worse with our thoughts than they actually are. And we are always able to get out of the spiral in our head. And if we do, then we are in this flow state. And we stop fighting. And those two energies give me the feeling of fighting a little bit, like, but kind of like foolishly fighting. Like he's thinking about fighting this dragon over here on top of the mountain. And this dragon is like raging with his fire into the environment, and this cat is trying to stop him. The cat is trying to protect him and not to engage in any interaction with this dragon over here. But the Knight of Wands is a bit foolish, so not foolish as a page, but still foolish enough to not be a king energy yet. And the Page of Swords is also an energy, a very young energy, where someone is starting to be very knowledgeable, but is still not knowing how to use it, and sometimes can say things that hurt other people, but not. The Page of Swords never wants to hurt anyone, but in his very free, young-spirited, very intellectual young self, he is making mistakes with his words, and he is learning how to when to speak and when not to speak, could say, when to just hold back and maybe think twice about things. And yeah, So I have the feeling that if you want to go on this adventure of life, you are always free to go wherever you wanna, wherever you choose. But make sure that you always reflect before you go, and take time off to be. I have the feeling that your energy is already gaining momentum. Maybe you are already somewhere at a beach area, somewhere where it's a lot of water around. Maybe that's where you are at the moment. And we have this transformation into very old, wise, elderly people here at the end of the reading. And maybe there was an advice here from someone else that we got, and we are reflecting on it. But we are still like in this energy of, yeah, but I want to do this, or I want to do it my way, or that. And then we realize, yeah, we can do it. We just have to do it. And we can do it foolishly, or we can just prepare and be brave enough, confident enough to go. And yeah, I'm just trying to look at this card again here, because I think there's nothing more to say than I just said, even though it really gives me a lot of, like, those two cards are very not concerned, but they're very determined. Like, they are very accomplished, very, the most confident person in the tarot is the Emperor. And since we have this confident self-confidence here, talking about having faith in self-confidence to be able to create your destiny, it seems like you need to find your confidence through going with the flow and through taking time off and remembering the things you have already learned, and then be brave enough to go on your next adventure. And try to, every time when this chatter in your head starts about the things you might not be able to do, or you're not good enough, or whatever it is, be always sure that you are able to snap out of it whenever you want. You can. Everyone can. Only people who are completely in a very deep depression state, they are unable to do it by themselves. But even they need training to learn how to get out of a very, very deep depressive state by themselves, because one day they have to do it by themselves, you know. And if there's any help you need, you can always rely on your family. I have this feeling here. And yeah, I have a lot of times in my reading a very young energy about some person or people who are young, or maybe there's someone watching and reflecting a lot about this young person in the family, and is trying to make them see how to get the right perspective in life. But I don't see any dark path ahead. I don't see anything to worry here. And yeah, I think it's just time to have faith in the things, how they are, and just to dive into them, and not be afraid to dive into yourself as well, and into nature, and just let nature and your surroundings, also other people, because surroundings is not just plants and animals, it's also people or objects or any landscapes. Let them talk to you. Just give yourself to them and see what they have to tell you. But yeah. And in those three cards, it's clearly that you need to, or you are at the moment in a state where you are really like thrifting off somewhere, and yeah, just going completely with the flow, and just like the boat on the water here, and or like the dolphins, having fun in the water and being careless, being free, and or the birds here in the sky, how they fly, just enjoying this sky ride. And there's nothing bad to say against that. You know, it's a great thing if you are able to do that. And I applaud you on this, if this is the state you are in now, if this has already happened. And just I would say just further go with that and see what happens from there. Okay, Pi 1, so this is what I have for you for this energy update reading, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Please leave a comment down in the comments below and hit the like button if you like it. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye. Hello, my beautiful group number 2. Welcome to your energy update reading. And Spirit had your first card with meditation for clarity here. And I remember this card appeared in another reading, in a previous reading of mine, but not at the beginning, more in the middle or at the end of it. So it's interesting, now we are starting with this energy here, and there's not so much else to say, as it's a card about, it's an energy about looking within, being withdrawn, and but really looking at yourself and trying to find another perspective, or just taking time off and relaxing, to then be able to get new informations on your way ahead. Then we have the transformation card. So maybe you are in time of transformation, or you are about to go into a time of transformation. Here something is needing to end, and in order to be able to let it go, you need to meditate about this thing. Accept powerful change. Yeah, okay, that's beautiful that it comes here. This is like already like some hope on the horizon here. And when you do that, then you can expect powerful change in your life. And it's time to take action. So we have two Moonology cards here. They popped out together. And what I see here is that whenever you are finishing this transformation, or you are in it, and you already were able to let go of some of the past things, then it's also time to take action again, and not to stay in this withdrawn meditative state. There's always time for reflection in life, but there's also a time after. Yeah. The nutrition card. Okay, I see them conduct healing work somehow with your culinary taking skills. Action. Okay. And starting to also heal yourself and others through cooking, through herbs, through plant medicine, through nutrition, through any kind of food, preparing food for having a great time with the people you are enjoying it, or to actually heal yourself or others with it. And maybe this is a skill you have, and that you discover that you can make, or want to make a business out of it, or you're already cooking and you're a cook and you're already doing this, or you are some kind of a therapist in that area, or you want to be. And yeah, and then I have this three, we also had this in group 1, these three stars, signs, houses, and planet cards. And let's see if they build a story over here. So we have, the first card is this Saturn with be realistic, be concerned about, you must wait before you can, or limits imposed, caution regarded, the maturity that brings. Okay, let's see if we can build a story with those cards. Then we have your feelings, attitudes from the past about, use your intuition, and okay. Be realistic about your feelings in Cancer here, and then the 8th house as a life or death issue. The 8th house in No, just the 8th house. Yeah, it's not in Cancer. Be realistic about your feelings as a life or death issue. Okay. Well, here we have the death issue going on. Transformation, something needs to die, and you probably need to reconsider your feelings about some topic in your life. But be very very serious while doing that, while reflecting. I'll put them over here so that we will have more space for the tarot cards in the end. What else do we have? You must wait before you can use your intuition and use other people's resources. Yeah. Of course, using your intuition is always a must-have. But with the waiting here, you must wait before you can use your intuition, is that I see that in this meditation for clarity card, and before you can get into action. That's why I was kind of like, okay, seeing that those are not literally connected, they just follow after another. And it gave me the feeling of, okay, this is like a period here, and then it's finished, and then this new period of getting into action and focusing on your nutrition in life, or focusing on this job you have that is somehow dealing with nutrition. Maybe you sell it, but whatever you do with it, it has some healing aspect here in it. Be concerned about attitudes from the past, about getting and using power. Yeah, that's probably the energy you are in. You are at the moment might be concerned about it, about some attitudes from other people, or your own attitudes about how to build a business, about how to collaborate with people, how to communicate at the workplace. Be realistic about your feelings as a life or death issue. Yeah, so this is like a very, very necessary thing here to do for you, to meditate and to reflect. And because if you get into action before you do that, things will turn out as a mess. Could be kind of messy. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. It makes a lot of sense. It really builds a story here. And so your tarot cards, the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant card. It's the first card. The Hierophant is also about reflecting, looking inside, but getting use of all the knowledge you have about things. Maybe there's some books you need to read first before you start this business, before you go back to work. Maybe you are in a pause mode right now, and you need to make use of it before you get into action. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Beautiful Queen of Cups. She's very reflective. She is looking very much deep within. I see the Queen of Cups very strongly connected to this first card here. It's just a validation again. Then the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's also another validation, because it's talking about the fruits that need to ripe, and this waiting game that for some people it's nice, but others feel hesitant when they get taught to wait things out. Maybe you are someone who usually jumps into action, but the cards are saying here that you really do need to stop in order for you to be able to prepare healing field, need to medicine out of plants, or healing a bit more time before we can go out there and express at the same time and we need to study our skills. With the Hierophant, we still need to study. Maybe it is about studying those skills to be able to do it, or it's about this inward studying things about the self. Then we have the King of Swords. I will put it over here again. The King of Swords. And this card is, a lot of times it gives me, at first when I see it, I think it's a star card because of all the stars here. And how the needle, with the thread with the needle here is having 2 stars also at its peak. And remember how I said there's like hope on the horizon here with the expect powerful change, and I have this feeling that this King of Swords has something to do with it. Then we have the Knight of Cups. Beautiful meditative flower here, looking at the heart center, making a beautiful offer to others, and also being able to take the offer if others giving us a lovely offer, something nice in our life. I think this is also talking about kindness, you know, self-care and looking within, meditating, reflecting on things, and being nice, kind to our heart. While we do that, don't punish ourselves. And then we have the King of Cups. Okay, so this could be about people here, because we have 3 court cards. No, 4 court cards actually. We have 4 court cards. We have the Queen of Cups, and its equivalent the King of Cups here at the end. Then the King of Swords and the Knight of Cups. So here we see at the end, we see like, I think this meditation and transformation period will develop your soul from a Knight of Cups into a King of Cups. And what happens here when that happens, and especially at the end and right after one another, maybe you are already a King of Swords. That means you are a lot in your head, you are very smart with the things you do in life, your intellect is very accomplished already. But now it's time to use that also, or put that aside, to make sure that your Knight of Cups energy can grow into a King of Cups energy, because the King of Swords is the wisest one in the tarot from all the kings. And the King of Cups on the other side is that king that represents having your emotions in control, not in the sense of controlling them to not feel them, controlling them in the way that to know when it's time for each emotion. Like there are situations where we should not overly express ourselves, because maybe with our emotions, because sometimes the emotions of other people are a bit more important in a certain situation. Like when someone else is sick, then we need to put our own problems aside in order to be able to help them. Sometimes it's equal, but then we need to know what to do, and we need to know, okay, can we help this person, or are we suffering ourselves so much that we are not able to help them? And then we need to do this necessary step. But for this to be able to do it, we need to reflect on things, and we need to look inside and see what we can do to become a bit more to develop the ability to deal with our emotions, basically. Practice it. Practice how to deal with our emotions. And if they are too much, if there's too many of it, we need to look within and meditate. Maybe write things down to process things and to get new ideas on how to move forward. And we also have this Queen of Cups here, this very, very reflective energy. And she is looking very much, I think it's not about like just taking one day off or one weekend off to reflect. I think this is a bit deeper here than that. I think this is really talking about going through the emotions, like really going into the emotions so deep on, like completely like on the ground of the ocean, to be able to calm your waters in the future, to be able that in the future you can ride a ship on that ocean, you know. If you're able to calm your own emotions, then you are also able to let some ships sail on it. Yeah. And I think this nutrition factor here is also, you know, everyone needs nutrition, no matter if you are in a healing practice with it, but taking care of your body and taking time off to learn about it, to study what is best for you specifically. I think that's also necessary here, and learning how to grow things and what stuff we can eat, stuff we can, there's certain things our body cannot take in, and others, and other things our body can absorb really well, and we need to find out what those things are. And it's different for everybody. But if we do that, we are able then to go out and we are able to know our own habits, our own desires, our own emotions. And then we can put them like on the plate, like into reality. Then we can really live after those values, those new values that we made for ourselves. New eating habits, new exercise habits, new habits on how to deal with our own emotions, and no matter what other people do or say. But this King of Cups, you can tell him anything. He's not getting triggered anymore. He knows if he should take things in consideration when people say something to him, and when not. And sometimes we worry too much. That's also a thing. Sometimes we need to be a little bit more realistic with the things that we once thought would be true, would be the truth. And sometimes we need to change that completely, or at least let go parts of it and accept that things might not be as they seem first. We have the Hierophant, I think, here, the Hierophant card here, and it's always an indication that whatever we used to feel, used to think about things, is not all there is. There's also aspects in life that we cannot see yet, or we might never be able to see them at all because they're transparent somehow. It's like because they're part of some certain laws of how things in nature, things in the life of humans are playing out. And since we don't know that, we have to study those things, make use of them. Yeah, I think this message is very clear, and that's all I have for you for today. Yeah, I hope you will have a wonderful week ahead, and see you in your next reading. Bye bye.